So students, today I'm going to discuss with you all the structure of the earth from chapter number 3, that is the interior of the earth. Okay. So as we are discussing about the various information, we are getting in various information about the earth's interior from this chapter. Okay. And in our previous discussion, we have studied about the various sources of information about the earth's interior, that is the direct and the indirect sources. Okay. As well as we have discussed about the earthquakes, the types of the earthquakes and the effects of the earthquake actually. Okay, so let us study today about the structure of the earth. Okay, the earth is mainly divided into three different layers, that is the crust, mantle and the core. Okay, so let us study about these three different layers. Okay, about the different characteristics of these three different layers of the earth or the structure of the earth. Okay, so this diagram basically tries to explain, okay, the diagram basically tries to explain the interior of the earth, okay, about the different layers of the earth. Okay. So first let us start with the crust. Okay, so basically one more thing you need to remember here is that okay, the topmost part of the earth's crust, okay, is known as the lithosphere. Basically the lithosphere basically include from the surface till 200 kilometer. Okay, from the surface till 200 kilometer in the earth's interior, that is known as the lithosphere actually. Okay, the crust. The crust, it is the outermost solid part of the earth and it is brittle in nature. Okay, and the thickness of the crust, it varies. Okay, it varies under the oceanic and the continental areas. So basically the topmost portion of the earth, okay, the outermost portion of the earth is known as the crust of the earth. Okay, and it is very much brittle in nature. That means it is very much fragile in nature. Okay, it is very soft. Okay, the thickness of the crust, it varies. Okay, it varies under the oceanic and the continental areas, and the thickness of the crust, it varies from the oceanic area to the continental area. Continental area basically refers to the land areas. Okay, so the thickness of the crust, okay, it depends upon it depends upon the coastal areas or the oceanic areas and the landforms and all. Okay, so basically the crust is more very much thicker. Okay, the crust is very much thicker in the land surface in the continental areas as compared to the oceanic areas, because in the oceanic areas already it is a depression. Okay, already it is a depression. Okay, and from that, from the base of that ocean actually, okay, if we reach the center of the earth, okay, the thickness will be very less. Okay, but from the land surface or from the mountains, if we try to reach the center of the earth, okay, the thickness will be greater actually. Okay. So the oceanic crust is thicker as compared to the continental crust. Okay, so the crust is mainly divided into two sections, two divisions actually, that is the oceanic crust and the continental crust. Oceanic crust basically refers to the earth's crust which lies under the oceans. Okay, that is the ocean floor. And the continental crust basically refers to the land surface, okay, where the mountains, the plateaus and all exist actually. Okay, so basically the oceanic crust is thinner as compared to the continental crust. Okay, the oceanic crust is much thinner as compared to the continental crust. Okay, the average, the mean thickness, that is the average thickness of the oceanic crust is 5 kilometer, whereas that of the continental crust is around 30 kilometer. Okay, the thickness of the oceanic crust is 5 kilometer, average thickness. Okay, average thickness of the oceanic crust is 5 kilometer, whereas the thickness of the continental crust is around 30 kilometer. Okay, so here you can see that the thickness, it varies, okay, from the oceanic area to the continental areas. Okay. The continental crust is thicker in the areas of major mountain systems, and it is as much as 70 kilometer thick in the Himalayan region. Okay, and the continental areas, okay, the thickness of the crust in the continental areas also varies. Like in the plain areas, the thickness is is less, okay, as compared to the Himalayas mountain areas or as compared to the peninsular plateau region actually. Okay, so the continental crust is much thicker. Okay, the continental crust is much thicker in the areas of the major landforms. Like in the case of the Himalayas, the thickness of the crust is around 70 kilometers. Okay, that means from the top of the Himalayas, okay, till the from the top of the Himalayas till the base of the crust, actually it is 70 kilometer thick. Okay, and the crust is basically made up of the heavier rocks and having a high density of 3 gram per cubic centimeter. Okay, So basically the crust is made up of the heavier rocks, okay, and having a density of 3 gram per cubic centimeter. And this type of rock found in the oceanic crust is basalt, okay, and basically in the oceanic floor, okay, the rocks which is mainly found is the basalt rock. But in the continental areas, the rocks which is found is actually the igneous and the metamorphic rocks, okay. The igneous, metamorphic as well as the sedimentary rocks, okay, are found in the continental crust, okay. But in the oceanic crust, actually, basically the rocks are like basalt rocks are there. The mean density of the material in oceanic crust is 2.7 gram per cubic centimeter. Okay, so that means the density of the materials, okay, the density of the materials which has led to the formation of the crust is less in the oceanic areas as compared to the continental areas. So the materials which has led to the formation of the continental crust are more denser than the oceanic crust. Okay. So here you can see, if we divide, okay, if you see the interior of the earth, here you can see that the topmost part, okay, the topmost part of the earth is known as the crust, and then we are having the mantle, okay, and then the core, this yellow and this like purple shade, actually light purple, okay, it is actually the core actually, okay, and this core is further divided into two sections. One is the inner core and the one is the outer core, okay. So the outer core and the inner core, it is said that the inner core is in solid form actually. So this is what about the crust, okay, which forms the outermost layer of the earth actually. The next one is the mantle, okay. The portion of the interior of the earth beyond the crust is called the mantle, okay. The portion of the interior beyond the crust is called the mantle, okay. And the mantle extends from Moho's discontinuity to a depth of 2,900 kilometers, okay. So the mantle, it extends, it lies between the Moho's discontinuity till 2,900 kilometer, okay, till 2,900 kilometer depth, okay. And what is this Moho's discontinuity actually? The layer, okay, the boundary zone, okay, the boundary zone between the crust and the mantle is known as the Moho's discontinuity, okay. Means in between the crust and the mantle, there's a layer which is known as the Moho's discontinuity actually, okay, which separates the crust, okay, and the mantle. Okay, so from this Moho's discontinuity, if we go 2,900 kilometers deep inside the earth actually, okay, that is the mantle, okay. And the uppermost portion of this mantle, okay, the upper portion of this mantle is called the asthenosphere, that is up to 400 kilometers, okay. From the Moho's discontinuity till 400 kilometers, okay, till 400 kilometers, it is known as the asthenosphere. The upper portion of the mantle is called asthenosphere, and the word astheno basically means weak, and it is considered to be extending up to 400 kilometers. Okay, so the mantle, okay, the uppermost part of the mantle up to the depth of 400 kilometers is known as the asthenosphere. Okay, and it is believed that in this asthenosphere only the molten magma can be found. Okay, and this molten magma, okay, the like during volcanic eruption, the magma which comes out actually in the form of lava actually, okay, this magma, it comes out from this asthenosphere, okay. And it is the main source of magma that finds its way to the surface during the volcanic eruptions, and it has a higher density than the crust, 3.4 gram per cubic centimeter, okay. And the main source of magma during the volcanic eruption means when the volcanic eruption takes place, what happens? The magma, it comes out actually, okay, in the form of lava actually, okay. So this magma, it comes out from this asthenosphere only, okay. So it is said that the asthenosphere is very much like it is in the liquid form actually, where the deposition of the magma can be found, and the density of the materials is very high in this part, okay. The density is 3.4 gram per cubic kilometer, okay. And the crust and the uppermost part of the mantle are called the lithosphere, okay. That means the crust as well as the uppermost part of the mantle together, it is known as the lithosphere, okay. And its thickness, it ranges from 10 to 20 kilometers, okay. So the thickness of the lithosphere, it varies, okay, from one part of the earth to another part, okay. So basically the thickness can range up to 200 kilometers, okay. The maximum thickness of the lithosphere can range up to 200 kilometers. The lower mantle extends beyond the asthenosphere, and it is in the solid state, okay. And basically like the asthenosphere, it is in the liquid state actually, where the magma can be found, which is in the liquid form, okay. So basically the lower layer of the mantle, okay, beyond 400 kilometers, okay, means beyond 400 kilometers of the mantle actually, okay, that is in the solid form, okay. The lower layer of the asthenosphere of the mantle, okay. So the lower layer of the mantle, which lies below the asthenosphere, okay, which lies beyond the asthenosphere, it is in the solid state. Okay, it is in the solid form. Okay. So the crust, it forms the topmost or the outermost layer of the earth, and then we are having the mantle, which is further subdivided into two parts actually. Okay, the topmost part of the mantle is known as the asthenosphere, which is in the liquid form actually, and then the lower portion is in the solid form. Okay, and then the interior of the earth, okay, is known as the core. Okay, this core, it actually forms the central part of the earth actually. Okay, it forms the most interior part of the earth. Okay, see the core. The earthquake waves velocities help in understanding the existence of the core of the earth. Okay, so basically, how did we got the information about this core? We got the information about this core, okay, from the velocity of the earthquake actually. Okay, so basically the velocity and the magnitude of the earthquakes actually, it has helped in getting information about the core actually. Okay, because it is not possible to reach deep at the height of 2,900 or 3,000 kilometer actually. Okay, so the scientists, they have inferred that this may be the characteristics of core actually. So the core mantle boundary is located at the depth of 2,900 kilometers. Okay, so as I said, that the mantle extends up to 2,900 kilometers. Okay, so beyond 2,900 kilometers lies the core. Okay, so from 2,900 kilometer depth, okay, till 6,370 kilometer depth. 6,370 kilometer is the total radius. Okay, till the center of the earth actually. Okay, that is the core. And this core is divided into two divisions. Okay, one is the outer core and another one is the inner core. So the outer core is in liquid state while the inner core is in solid state. Okay, so basically the outer core, okay, the topmost outer part of the core is in the liquid state. Okay, and the inner core is in the solid state actually. Okay. The density of material at the mantle core boundary is around 5 gram per cubic centimeter, and at the center at 6,300 kilometer, the density value is around 13 gram per cubic centimeter. Okay, so as discussed earlier, that when we go deeper inside the Earth's crust, actually, the density of the materials increases. So here you have seen that in the crust, the density of the material was not so high, actually, almost 3, but in the asthenosphere the density of the material was around 3.4. Okay, and beyond the mantle, okay, and the area with the there's a boundary between the mantle and the core, there the density of the material is around 5 gram per cubic centimeter. But at the center, okay, at 6,300 kilometer, which is considered as the center of the earth actually, there the density of the material is around 13 gram per cubic centimeter actually. Okay, that means the materials which forms the different layers of the earth actually, okay, they become more denser as we reach the interior of the earth. Okay, so the core is made up of very heavy material. Okay, it is made up of very heavy material, mostly constituted by the nickel and the iron. Okay, so basically the core is made up of nickel and iron. Okay, and these are the very heavy materials. Okay, and this is the reason that the core is also referred to as a knife layer. Okay, it is also referred to as the knife layer. Okay, so this is what about the characteristics of the core actually. Okay, so basically the interior of the earth can be divided into three major divisions. Okay, or you can say the earth can be divided into three different layers. Okay, that is the crust, the mantle, and the core. Okay, so the crust, it has different characteristics, the mantle, it has different characteristics, and the core, it has different characteristics. Okay, so these all layers of the earth's interior, okay, they have different characteristics, they have different density. Okay, and they have played a different role actually in the formation of the earth's lithosphere. Okay. So this is what about the structure of the earth and its characteristics. Okay, and the characteristics of its different layers actually. So basically this diagram, you can see, it provides us the information about the different layers and their characteristics actually. Okay.